I'm known for not following the script, but I'm committed to doing it tonight. There's a lot of work went into this.
You're great.
Thanks. So we're celebrating one of those nights tonight with the 40th anniversary. Tonight we're going to learn about how it came to be and how many challenges had to be overcome to forge the 43 miles of Harborwalk that we all know and love and defines our waterfront today. Our special guest tonight is a woman who, more than anyone, deserves the title of Mother of the Harborwalk, or as she would say, Mother of the Harborwalk. Lorraine Downey, the former department's director for the city of Boston and chair of the Harborpark Committee, who was a critical player at the beginning of the creation of Harborwalk back in the 1970s. So probably a lot longer ago than many of us thought it was started. One thing I hope you'll take away from tonight's conversation is just how bold and principled a move it was for Lorraine to propose and implement the Harborwalk vision and later to persuade her boss, Mayor Ray Flynn, to buy into it, to back her up. It's a great story, and you're going to hear it. It's also a really powerful example of what it takes to create beautiful, precious places like Harborwalk, like the Boston Harbor Islands National and State Park, like the Emerald Necklace, like Piers Park. And many of you in this room, probably all of you in this room, have worked on things like this and deserve credit for some of the things that we benefit from today. But we know they don't just happen by themselves. They require vision, tenacity, hard work, and the devotion of lots and lots and lots of supporters. They often require fighting back against special interests, nicely of course, but with courage and a great sense of humor. And Lorraine did that over and over again. Before we start, I should say that tonight is NIOP's big gala. Oftentimes at our Harbor Youth Forums, we get a lot of folks from the development community. There are some of you who are here today, but most of them are at the NIOP event. And many of them are old friends bearing scars from their work with Lorraine for many years. But they send their best, Lorraine. Before we start, I want to say a few words about how Boston Harbor now is thinking about Harborwalk for the next 40 years. As a coastal city, we all know we face huge challenges from climate change. We're looking at sea level rise, increasingly severe weather events, storm surges, flooding, and heat that are going to test the resiliency of our city. Every few months, we all know we experience nuisance flooding that we call wicked high tides, very Boston of us. And you'll see places like Long Wharf and Morrissey Boulevard flooding on sunny days. Who can forget Storm Grayson in 2018 when we saw the dumpster floating down the street in the seaport, or we saw the water coming up over Long Wharf and across the Greenway, across Atlantic Avenue and up to State Street. If we don't take action to get climate change under control and adapt our coastline to be more resilient, those wicked high tides are expected to become more and more frequent. The Harborwalk, so critical for access, is now our first line of defense against the coastal impacts of climate change. We already have some wonderful examples of this resilient and accessible Harborwalk. Andrew Popolo Park in the North End in 2021, the city of Boston completed a section of Harborwalk that's been raised by 4 feet from its prior elevation, and its flood barrier has a flood barrier that doubles the seating. It's been planted with salt-resistant plants, and it's a beautiful view of the harbor. Clipper Ship Wharf in East Boston includes an elevated section of Harborwalk that bolsters flood protection, also includes a living shoreline designed to be able to catch storm surge, survive, and thrive through periodic flooding. And then Encore Hotel in Everett, believe it or not, is another example of a living shoreline that's enhanced some wildlife habitat on our waterfront in Boston Harbor. Other exciting opportunities coming up now or in the works now are Dorchester Bay City down by Columbia Point. And more recently, probably you've heard about the Gillette World Shaving Headquarters right here in South Boston on the Fort Point Channel. So Boston Harbor now continues to monitor new waterfront developments to ensure that they implement this new resilient and accessible Harborwalk that creates a welcoming waterfront for all. The opportunity to continue to reinvent our waterfront is critical to our future health and well-being as well as our economy. The 11 million visitors, yes, that's right, 11 million visitors a year that we get on the Harborwalk are a testament to its appeal and its importance. We'll be talking about that more at a future harbor forum. So to circle back to why we're here tonight, whether you know it or not, every one of those 11 million people and all of us enjoying and advocating for the Harborwalk are building on the legacy of Lorraine Downey. And with that, Lorraine, I want to get you up here. I'm excited and really grateful to have the opportunity to talk to Lorraine tonight to hear firsthand about what it took to create Boston's 43-mile Harborwalk. We're going to let you a lot of time at the end for questions and suggestions and probably some stories of your own. And we do have a number of people online with us tonight, so we're needing to speak loudly into the microphone so that it communicates there. So let me just set a little context for this, for Lorraine, the beginning of Lorraine's conversation. So the harbor was filthy. How many of you remember the harbor with the sewage dumping into it every day? I used to sit on Gallup's Island and watch it bubble up. It wasn't pretty. The lawsuit, the cleanup in the lawsuit was in its future, but it hadn't begun to happen yet. The seaport was abandoned rail yards and parking lots. Illegal filling was happening in some really key locations that really got under Lorraine's skin and got her going. CZM was just being created. So we're talking about the late 70s. Lorraine was the executive secretary to the Concom from 77 to 79, working with Jack Murray, who's here somewhere. Where's Jack? Where'd Jack go? There we go. And was working with the Wetlands Protection Act, a very important, and also a very important court case was happening at that exact time that resulted in something called the Querico decision. It was going to amend Chapter 91 in some really important ways. Chapter 91 hadn't been amended in decades. So Lorraine, please take us back to the late 1970s and tell us how Harborwalk and a little later, Harborpark came to be.
Thank you, Kathy, and it's great to see so many old friends here. I came to work for the city of Boston in 1977 under the Kevin White administration. And I had one job in the city as executive secretary to the Conservation Commission, whose job it was to protect the public's interest in 7 issues, in water pollution, one of those, fish and shellfish, wetlands, storm damage, flooding. But I was one person. It was one staff person. You had to do everything. You had to do the site inspections. You had to run the hearings. You had to send the notices out for the hearings. You had to write the conditions. You had to just make the commissioners happy, you know. So there were 2 issues at that point in time. Let me also say, at that point in time, coastal zone management had come to town, basically. It was a federal program that the state was going to adopt and be able to have some controls over the harbor, but also give some money. And they were not approved yet. And they called me up because I had been talking to them and working with them. Mostly mad at them because of the way they did the DPA designations in Boston. But anyway, they were offering money. They said, if we gave you some money, what problem around the harbor would you solve? Well, being a Dorchesterite, the Troy Field, I call it the Troy Field, it's the thumb of land that's right by the Boston gas tanks, was filled supposedly pursuant to a Chapter 91 permit. It was supposed to be legal, but they didn't meet the criteria of the 91 permit. They didn't drive down the sheeting, they didn't. So as they filled it, which was from the West End, it was sloughing off into the harbor, and the yacht club that was right there was very upset, because all their slips were filling in. So I said, the case at that point was in the courts. It was stalemated. It had been stalemated for years. So I said, I'd solve the problem. I'd get an engineering study done to find out, is it better to keep it or to remove it? What's going to do the most damage? They gave us money. That's where I met my longtime friend, Mary Ann Conley, working with MDC and Coastal Zone Management. And we got the study done. We brought it to the court in the Army Corps of Engineers. The court case ended by the person that thought he owned the land, turned it over to the state, and that started the legacy of that turning into a piece of public park by the MDC. 20 years later, than when I started in 77. It was 87 when, 97 when the ribbon was cut on it, which I found fascinating. It made me realize how long this was going to take. The other issue at the same time was illegal fill going on in the reserve channel by the Pathos company. They came in requesting a permit to build a warehouse on piles right where that illegal fill was, after they got a cease and desist order and ordered to remove. They didn't get the permit for the warehouse on piles. They couldn't tell us what they were going to store in it or anything like that. So they didn't get the permit and they were ordered to remove it. That now is a piece of Harborwalk also. That was so I could have more eyes on the harbor also, because if I had places that were somewhat public. I also realized I needed a sidewalk around the harbor's edge. Union Wharf hadn't been built yet. All right, there was illegal filling going on Union Wharf. They didn't build the townhouses yet, and I was trying to, I can't be everywhere at once. So I said, all right, we gotta do a sidewalk. We have to do a sidewalk on the harbor. And I worked with coastal zone management, and we basically threatened 2 developments. Congress Street, it's the section, I have always called it David Keating's Tomato Building. It's the one right across Congress Street from the Children's Museum in the milk bottle. It actually was built twice because the concrete was rotten and it caved in once. But threatened with appealing the Chapter 91 permit and had coastal zone management backing us. And they turned around and had to build it. And they had to build it. I knew they had to build it because you would lose, if I lost that one and they didn't build it, you'd never have the connection between Congress and Summer Street. The other one is what I call the Bain Building on Atlantic Ave. The Coast Guard's on one side and an undeveloped Rose and Foster's Wharf was on the other side. They came in, we required them to do it. They've, nah, we're not gonna do that. There's no connection. Because the gate on the Coast Guard building was locked and Rose and Foster's wasn't built. Anyway, we got that. We did it the same way. We just pressured them. We told them we were gonna appeal everything. Because at that time, the law department was telling me I couldn't write a condition in the permit that said public access. And it was going to be years before the regulations on 91 came along. So a little bit further on, and this is probably your next question if you want to go.
Oh, you go ahead.
Okay.
Keep going.
1983, Ray Flynn, the end of 83, Ray Flynn gets elected. Takes office 84. I'm much more familiar with and comfortable with the people in that administration. I came into the end of the Kevin White administration as a new kid on the block. I didn't know anybody in City Hall, so I was just starting. By the time it was the Ray Flynn administration, I was much more comfortable. I also knew that the way you got stuff done at City Hall was you wait till after 5 and you walk around the building and you just walk in the offices. Steve Coyle and I used to sit up there till 7 or 8 o'clock at night sometimes, just talking about what development was going on. And but so the law department was really busting my chops about this, and I was getting really angry at them because what was happening was DEP, who didn't have the regulations yet, but knew they were coming. I think it was DEQE at that time. They changed their names so many times. But they were preventing us from getting the public access that we needed and wanted. And they didn't care about it. It wasn't a priority of theirs. And so I went downstairs and walked into the mayor's office. The door was open. Mifflin was sitting there with Joe Fisher, and I said, guys, I've got a problem. And I was still executive secretary to the Conservation Commission at this time. It was February or March, when he first came in. And I said, I'm one person trying to do this job of the whole harbor, the rivers, and all the inland wetlands. And I said, and I can't do it unless I get more people to check things out. That equated to a sidewalk to me. So I said, I would like to require in the permit, I wasn't greedy at that point in time. I was asking for 5 feet. You know, I measured 3 of the biggest commissioners, 4 of them, and 5 feet, they could get past each other. So that was, thank John Lewis for that decision. 4 times what his shoulders were. But anyway, the mayor looks at me, I explained the whole thing to him and Joe, and they're looking at me and they're kind of laughing. And they said, you think you can get it done? And I said, yeah. And he said, you're not getting any money for it. And I said, I know. And he said, go for it. And so then I started actually writing the public access requirements in the permit. Because even when the law department said, you can't do it, I said, nah, yes, I can. Mayor said I could. So we got that. So
Okay. Thank you, Lorraine.
So what were other people's reactions out in the public, not outside of City Hall? What were you running into? I know there were some specific early developments that were particularly challenging.
well, when the Bain Company built their small section of Harborwalk, I knew I was on to something because I saw people the first sunny day, like in March or April, climbing over the dilapidated Rose Wharf and going and sitting on the benches. There was no connection on either side, but they made it. I felt like, okay, people are really just like lemmings going to the sea. You know, we need to give them the access because they need to get by the water. And I just kept thinking, more eyes, more people calling me, telling me something was going wrong. So the beacon companies want to develop Rose and Foster's Wharf. They come in to have a meeting with me. Oh, let me back up for a little bit. After I went down to the mayor's office, maybe 2 months later, he made me department head. And then he had hired Steve Coyle, and Steve and he talked, and they decided in order to give me some legal coverage, and also coming out of the 91 new regulations, there was going to be a harbor plan, which allowed you to divert from the concrete things that the regulations said you could. So we established the Harborpark Advisory Committee, maybe mid-year, late year, and had its first meetings like in September of '84. And the committee was made up of the 5 communities, 5 harbor users, and 5 government people. And that's how it started. The other,
You were the chair.
I would,
the
yeah, he
chair.
appointed me chair. And I guess because he thought it was my idea, so I should be able to do it. And it worked. It worked wonderfully. But we had so many people that worked on it too. But let me get back to the opposition. So the people from Rose Wharf come in and they want to know what their expectations are going to be. Well, my expectations are the committee's expectations are going to be of Harborwalk. And I said, all the way around it. And they just showed it like walking between the hotel building and if you see the archway straight, they did not plan on doing it around the residential buildings or whatever. And I said, no, you gotta, it's around everything. You know, you gotta put the walkway there. And one of the gentlemen that was there, was so upset with me, and he was getting red-faced, and he said, "You mean anybody can walk around these buildings?" And I said, "Yep, it's kind of called the sidewalk. They have them in Beacon Hill and Back Bay, and buildings are very expensive there, and people still walk right in front of them." And he said, "You mean somebody could come and bring a barbecue and cook ribs on my sidewalk?" And I looked at him and I said, I'm gonna ignore that you just said that, all right? Now, some people close to them, Harbor Towers, had to get an approval from the BRA. It was just paperwork, but they had to get an approval from the BRA. It was, I think, to go condo or something. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but they came in to meet me, the trustees, lawyers, you know, very well-off people. And I'm telling them that they have to make the connection. And they're looking at me and they're going, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, if you look at Rose Wharf, where the archway is, lines up perfectly with the sidewalk of the aquarium parking garage, the Chiafaro parking garage." And I said, the plan was that the walkway would go right through. Well, that so happens to be like right on the edge of their pool, in between their green lawn and their pool. So about 2 weeks later, I get a call that there's work going on down on the waterfront. And I said, "Oh, okay, I'll get to it." And I waited, and I waited. I gave them a week and a half. And then I walked down there, and the connection was done where it was. Now, I never would have gotten the connection done by the pool. And we would have lost, you know, a lot of time, and that was a key connection because we had Rose Wharf and we had the aquarium. We needed that. So it was like they had to go after the fact and get it legally permitted, but we had the connection. That's all I was wishing for, was connections at that point.
How did it go from being the connections to being sort of the bigger vision in the Harbor Park plan?
Oh, I think of all of the developments that show what Harbor Park and Harbor Walk could be was, again, Rose Wharf. Because when you think of how they turned around and they didn't just take the walkway, which also had the water transportation requirement there, so it had the ferry, but they programmed it like we kind of thought it should be programmed. I mean, they started out with, I think it was just the movie night was the first thing that they did. I think it was like a Friday night movie. But not only did they put chairs and tables that people could get waited on and served, but they also gave out free cushions. If you were just walking by and you wanted to watch the movie, but you didn't want to pay $15 or whatever for a drink or something, you could take a cushion for free and sit and watch it, and they had free popcorn. I mean, it was, and then they had it every night. They changed it to different things, the dancing, the big band music. So to me, that is an example of what we dreamed of. You had the connection on and off the water. You had activities that brought people in, and you didn't have to spend money. Now, things like the aquarium are wonderful, you know, and it's nice that you can walk around it, but it costs like $30 or something to get in it. And then if you have to park also. I mean, so it was like the free things that I lived up to my vision of what I thought it should be. There were a couple of other.
Anything you want to cover, throw it in. I've got more questions for you.
Okay. Reactions.
Oh, from planners and people from around you had people from around the country and around the world coming to look at Harborwalk.
Yeah, and they envied our ability to have the regulation, because that was the thing on filled tideland. Because Boston is mostly filled, we had control that they did not. But on the other hand, once developers saw how it could pay off for them to do it. There was competition between the developers to see who had the best piece of Harborwalk. But at the same time this is going on, MWRA was established. I was on the board of directors at the start for 13 years. And we did the siting at Deer Island. And this is what, now Deer Island is in Boston. So I'm sitting on the board and they're talking about the plans for Deer Island. And I said, where's the walkway? And they're going, what do you mean? Walkway around a sewage treatment plant. And I said, yeah, it's gonna be the most beautiful one in the country. Everybody should see it. We're gonna be spending a lot of money on it. The board, it was, my fellow Bostonians supported me, but it was a real fight with the other board guys to get the walkway done. Not just the board guys, the sewer guys that worked out there. They wanted it all for themselves. They didn't want the public walking around there, you know. So it's very funny, the different types of opposition. At Congress Street, there was a bank in that building. The bank opposed the public access walkway, and that was a key connection. Summit to Congress on that side, you needed that. It's security. People will break into the bank. I said, it's a sidewalk. You have lots of banks on the streets that are next to sidewalks. I mean, it was trying to get them to realize that this was just a public space that people could walk like in the rest of the city is. Only it had water on one side. So,
Can you say a little bit about Chapter 91's evolution in 83 and 86, I think it was, and how that may have come
the
into
Chapter 91 meetings for the regulations were the most torturous, obnoxious meetings I had to sit through ever. And they still didn't come out right. But it's better than nothing. It's much better than what we had. But, you know, the debates we had about facilities and public accommodation, you know, I'm not sure that worked correctly. I mean, I don't necessarily think of a law office as a facility of public accommodation. Now, maybe I'm too, I don't know, I didn't get arrested enough or something, I don't know. But there were certain, we had a vision of very, very public spaces on the first floor. And the way everything got defined and implemented, it didn't quite work that way. But all I know is it's better than nothing. One example, you look at Union Wharf next to Battery Wharf. All right, Union Wharf, I tried and fought for the public access, lost it for years, that they wouldn't even make a connection. I mean, they were really hard to work with. And you look at Battery Wharf's kind of cool. They got the water transportation, you can get all the way around it, they've got the fire station out there. I mean, it was very interesting, the developers that took it to heart and saw that it could be a really positive thing for the city, and the developers that didn't, all right? The other thing that we really needed to do was, we had the neighborhoods that were around the harbor on the committee. We didn't have other neighborhoods on the committee. So it was very important to figure out how to connect them. And that was through the rivers and working with Valerie Burns and the Green Space Alliance and Boston Natural Areas Fund, and making the connection, as an example, from the Quonset Greenway, which is now up past Narragansett Square, I believe, all the way down to the harbor. And now they're making the connection by the gas tanks in Dorchester. I really wish they had made the connection from the gas tank to the Troy Phil MBC DEM park now, and then cantilever over to Tinian Beach, as opposed to having to go on the other side of the expressway there. But you win some and you lose some, you know. We're getting the connections, and that's to me, what the most important thing is. All right, you can ask me another question now.
Any disappointments or regrets about the Harborwalk?
Yeah, Union Walk's a regret. Sergeant's Walk, that it hasn't, I mean, it's a parking lot, it's still a parking lot, it's owned by Boston Planning and Development Agency now.
Boston Planning Department.
Oh, Boston Planning Department, okay, maybe they'll do something good there. I mean, we finally, after years, got a gravel walkway, so they did pull the parking back from the edge, so you can walk around it now, but it's not one of the nicest pieces of Harborwalk. Sometimes our hardest fights are with the government-owned locations. And a lot of times what I understand is, I know it's not their priority. And their budgets are tight, but just kind of get the concept and try and do something to pull it in and be part of you when you're on the harbor.
I want to go back to your program vision there. Do you think we're meeting your expectations in that regard around the harbor, or is there work to be done there too?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more things that, we don't use the water enough. I remember I tried to put it, it didn't last for long, but I tried to equate people falling into the harbor with harbor pollution. So I wanted every pier to have a ladder every 100 feet. I don't think that one lasted very long, but it was like, I kept thinking, I kept thinking that if we had that, at least people on boats could bring a boat in and you could climb up the ladder and get on the land and then go and anchor off, you know, but we don't have enough public landings at all. I mean, we have much more than when I was there, but we need more of those. We need more water activity. Mary Ann and I were talking on the way over. Why can't we do the water fire, that I know we can't call it that, but that kind of a thing. Fulton Channel would be the perfect place for that. You have 3 pools that you could do it in, and they could be different in each one of them. I mean, we need to look, I think, at programming the water more. Use it to connect people. I mean, when I started, people in Charlestown never left Charlestown. People in East Boston never left East Boston, especially the kids. And like, we need to still use the water to connect instead of separate.
Tell us the story about what happened with the kids camp out on Long Island.
Oh, that was wonderful. This was 79? Jack, do you remember? No, it had to be later because it was 84. We did a youth conservation corps out there, and we had kids from Charlestown, East Boston, Roxbury, Mattapan, Dorchester, South Boston, West Roxbury, maybe Rosendale and Hyde Park, about 20 kids. First day we go out there, they're standing in their groups, not talking to each other. It's like they're in a foreign country. By the end of their 8 weeks out there, they were making trails. And by the end of their 8 weeks out there, they were all best friends. They didn't look at the water as being a barrier so much. And the best thing about it was there was one young man who had a speaking problem, and his teacher came out the first day, and she talked to me, and she said he doesn't talk. The end of the time they were there, the 8 weeks, they had a big cookout out there for a lot of the other groups, and this one kid led the talk on the trail that they had built, and it was like the island and being surrounded by water had totally changed him. all the kids now were best friends. And the kids from Charlestown would go over to East Boston, or they'd get on the Red Line and go to Dorchester or Mattapan. I mean, it was the blending that we have an untapped resource. We're not using it the way we should be, because it is something that can be very, very healthy for especially the young people. That's why, even though it got built without the right permits, the Camp Harbor View is one of the best things that has happened on the harbor, no question.
Yeah, we used to call the islands the neighborhood free zone, because you could go to George's any Sunday,
That's
and
right.
there'd be a different ethnicity at every grill, and everybody's having fun and hanging out together. And that was back not too long after the busing crisis. Okay, do you feel there are any lessons that we could draw from the Harborwalk story that apply to other aspects of community building, park building, and the kinds of amenities we're trying to create today in terms of bikeways and?
I guess I'll give it a two-part answer. One part to the people that are lucky enough to have a job in the public sector. Don't be afraid to push the parameters. If you feel like you're right, and what I mean by that, when I say you're right, it's not that you're gonna get anything out of it yourself, but you're doing something to make your city better. Push it, just push it. You'll get people that will support you, and you'll figure out a way to get it implemented. On the private sector and the community, push us, but be reasonable. I mean, I wound up leaving the city for 6 years because I wound up, and I started totally believing in citizen participation, and I could see it go too far. And I would sit at these meetings, and these people would bring up the same issues over and over, and mostly it was the fact that they were there now and no one else could come because it was too crowded. And I always used to think, well, you should have stayed in Dover, or you have your 3 acre zoning, or whatever it is. When you live in the city, there's noise, there's people, and we're gonna bring more people, because especially downtown, where all the activities are, and on the waterfront, where we're actually finally getting some facilities of public accommodation like the ICA and some other things that people really want to be at. You know, just don't go overboard to the point where you stop progress from happening. And if you don't think it's progress and you don't want to, just say that, but don't drag people along and have people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on something. I mean, just say no. And if you get enough people to say no, then it probably won't happen.
So we just
Did a data project at Boston Harbor. Now we've been doing one now for a couple of years. And the data project has told us that there's 11 million people coming down to Harborwalk every year. 11 million people. That's way more than are on the Freedom Trail, let me tell you. Did you ever imagine that there would be that many people?
I didn't think of it that way. I
know
actually thought about it. I was being selfish. I knew I would never be able to afford to live on the water anywhere. So at least if I got this done, I could walk along it. And I have a bench to sit down now that I'm older. You know, I could sit and watch, you know. So part of it was being selfish. Also, I never thought of the amount of people, because I was thinking of, remember, I have to get this built without any money. So I am on the backs of developers or grants or other public park agencies like the MDC and DEM. And so it was like, I didn't think in terms of quantities, because I would have gone for 20 feet if I had, you know, instead of 5. But I knew what I did know, that it was going to take 40 years to 50 years to have, and I'm surprised at how much we've completed in the 40 years. Actually, it should be a little more for the Harborwalk. But that was what I was most focused on. And the fact that we could get enough of it built so that people, I'll never forget going to a meeting and having somebody from a community, and I think it was in East Boston, and they stood up and they said, well, you have to give us a sidewalk around the harbor. You have to give us a sidewalk. There were no regulations, there was no nothing. But they believed that it was their right to have the walkway. And it was like music to my ears, you know. And by the way, while I was doing this, I was also very involved with your predecessor organization, the Boston Harbor Associates, which then came the Boston Harbor Association. Anyway, I used them as a sounding board. In 78, 79, 80, John Ames, Tom Ennin, all of these people, I used them as the sounding board because I wasn't going to just stick my neck out and fight for this without knowing I had some people behind me. And it wasn't like we had a neighborhood for the harbor except them. They were, because they were the harbor users. It was started by the League of Women Voters and the Shipping Association. And I would go to the meetings and I'd say, okay, this development, I'm thinking of doing this. What do you think? And they would look at me. I remember George Makova just sitting there looking at me and he said, Lorraine, go for it. And when you have somebody of his stature, you know, building everywhere, saying, go for it, it was like, okay, I know I'm doing the right thing now. So it worked. 40 years later.
Congratulations, Lorraine. And many other people in this room for having
Absolutely.
created.
I'm
what's
looking
been
around
created.
this room and I'm seeing all of the people that I worked with and all the state agencies that I worked with and neighborhood people, and it makes my heart sing. And by the way, I am not a mother, but I love being called Mother Harborwalk.
Question for you, and then we're gonna get everybody else involved in the conversation here.
Okay.
So Harbor's changed dramatically. It's clean, it's beautiful, swim in it, fish in it. The waterfront has changed dramatically. There's a harbor walk around 43 miles of it. Much of it's been developed. It's beautiful. Some of it's more accessible than others, and some of it's more welcoming than others, but we're working on that. We've got the Greenway, we depressed the artery, we reconnected our downtown to the harbor. I mean, it's amazing.
Big changes.
What would your biggest hopes be for the next 40 years?
Rents come down.
Touche.
Years, and I couldn't live in the city when I came back because I couldn't afford the rent on a public pension. I mean, it's incredibly sad. And Mayor Flynn said to me one time, just fairly recently, he said, you know, Boston, everybody wants to be here now. And he said, and you did it. He said, you did it between the Harborwalk and the Harbor Cleanup. You did it. And I said, yeah, but I can't live here anymore. So it's you know, it's a two-edged sword when you make a city so nice. We have a beautiful city. It's walkable. It's just great, but it's kind of crazy to try if you don't already own, and even if you do own, the taxes, I mean, something, I don't know how we address it. So that, to me, is one of the big issues, or it's just gonna be very rich, very young people, or very rich, very old people that are here.
You're right. I don't want to end on that dour note. However, do you have anything else you want to say before I open it up?
Just,
Any other topics?
you know, I can tell you, there were a lot of people that helped. it wasn't just me. Do you know, it was the people that were on the board of the Boston Harbor Association. It was, you know, the people at CZM. It was the state agencies, the MDC, and then DEM, and you know, it's a big pot. Everybody kind of wanted to make things better. I was lucky enough to have a tool and just kind of smart enough to know I could push this tool. Nobody else, when I started, was paying it in the city, was paying attention to the water quality in the harbor or the edge of the harbor. And then I came along, a kid from Dorchester. It's like, I got a chance to make my city better, and I was gonna do it. And with the help of a bunch of other people, we got it done.
And thank you, Lorraine. Thank you to a lot of others in this room. So we're gonna open it up. Many of you probably have stories, questions, comments. Rich. Microphone to pass around.
Lorraine, you mentioned Steve Coyle, you mentioned the BRA,
Yeah.
BPDA, or now Boston Planning Department. And the properties Rose Wharf, Sergeant's Wharf, Union Wharf were all land disposition agreement, urban renewal plans. I'm wondering, what was your interaction with the BRA at that time about using their tools to implement Harborwalk? Was it a lost opportunity? Should you have come in earlier?
Union was, I didn't have a prayer. I just didn't have a prayer. They had too much clout in the BRA to be able to get that. And then there were people that worked in the city that lived on the wharf after it was built that just fought tooth and nail, even after Battery Wharf was done and the San Marco was done, in trying to make that connection through. Fought and fought and fought, and then they would park cars in the middle of the connection. I mean, it's just a pain in the neck. The San Marco building, we were supposed to have access through the middle of that. It was designed in a way that there is a walkway in the interior of that. And that got given away by the state because the developer didn't like it. You know, there's those kinds of fights. You win some, you lose some. The Coast Guard, we had the walkway next to Popolo Park in the pool area. We had that opened for a while, and then a new commander came in and didn't like it, and so the gates got locked. You never want to let gates get put up. That's the key, because they'll always come along at some point and lock the gates. And so just don't let them happen. The federal courthouse was another fight. That was a big fight. Trying to get that public access. They didn't want any part of giving it to us. And to try and get some activity on the street side, not a prayer. So it's, you know, very lost opportunities. To me, the courthouse site was one of the worst things that ever happened in the city. I sat through 5 developments, I think, for the fan pier, while they're looking at sites for a federal courthouse. There's 5 sites they're studying. All of a sudden, at the 9th hour, fan pier gets thrown in there. It gets picked. It gets bought from Anthony and Dennis for the exact amount of a court case that he lost to the Pritzkers for shutting down the development. They had an agreement, they had gone for a long process through the planning and everything, and he took them to court for some timing thing. He lost like $64.2 million, he was fined. All of a sudden, the federal government bought Fanfare for $62.4 million, when it was never one of the sites studied. You know,
Christmas miracle.
huh?
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, Brian, you know, I mean, so it's like those kinds of things, you really have to just swallow it, because there's nothing you can do. It's done by the higher ups, and you've got no way of changing it, so that's another regret.
Another question?
2 questions, comments, stories. I'll have to start calling on people. I know most of your names.
Hi, I'm Ellen. I'm the current conservation agent and obviously have huge shoes or boots to fill. And I'm just wondering if you had any advice to give to our current conservation staff. What would it be? I mean, honestly, anything from managing the commission to, to something, as beautiful and huge of a project as the Harborwalk.
Are you telling me the commissioners don't do exactly what you want them to do? For me, I just think you do your homework, and if you think it's a good idea and it's the right thing for the public, push it with all your might. Try and get people to support you, community people, try and get people in City Hall to support you. Sometimes that's the hardest thing, because they get their jobs, you got this great idea, but they don't want to have to pay anything for it. They don't want to have to do anything for it. So you got to figure around those things. I don't know if that helps, but I just push the envelope. If it's going to make your city better, push the envelope.
I'd have Lorraine come in for a brown bag lunch every once in a while, just to light a fire under them.
We do want to see if there are any questions online, but first, is there another question here?
Hi, I'm Charlie Norris, a long time waterfront planner.
Oh, Charlie, hi.
Lorraine, I wonder if one thing from a design standpoint, myself and many others were always working both sides of the street. We're trying to help with the public development of the waterfront, and at the same time working with, private owners and so forth. But one thing that always occurred to me, which you might have a comment on, is that I think pieces of the waterfront Harborwalk were laid out working to the best we could with what was there. So one example, there are a number of downtown finger piers that had a fairly narrow apron around them. And that really became one of the most important, starting points for the Harborwalk. But you really had a 10-foot apron that you had to work with. And you just tried to do the best you could. I think in many respects that kind of set some of the guidelines for widths, because so much of it was 10 feet wide. But do you have any comments about trying to work with the fabric of the waterfront that we had as we're converting it from an industrial waterfront to an urban mixed-use waterfront?
When I think about what you're saying, the first place that came to my mind was commercial wharf. How on the back side of that, you have the Sail Walk restaurant, and then you had a parking lot. You had limited parking on the pier anyway, but they did not want to give up anything. And I think we've got maybe 3 feet or 5 feet there, but maybe somebody that used to work for the Concom could answer that better, because it was after me, I think, that it was done. But it was very difficult, because you got the boats, you got the pilings, they tried to implement it without changing any of the pilings, and a lot of the pilings were rotting and stuff. I guess I can't really answer, Charlie, your question. Most of the time, I was dealing with developers that were doing the whole pier and pushing it. And so then I was getting a new structure. It wasn't necessarily on the old structure. that doesn't answer your question though.
Commercial Wharf and Long Wharf both had buildings that were older buildings.
Right.
They had permanent.
Charlie,
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 use the mic so they can hear you online as well.
oh, I didn't give it up, sorry.
So they're kind of in the center of the waterfront, Long Wharf obviously being traditionally the road to the sea. And Commercial Wharf, a converted mercantile building that was all residential, rental and condominiums. So the land uses also played into it quite a bit. Long Wharf had a number of businesses on the street level and up above. Commercial Wharf was predominantly residential. So the land uses also played in to a great extent, both the renovated land uses and, as you say, the new projects to how you could work with the edge and how public it could become, or how much pressure there was to keep it semi-private.
There's a lot of pressure at commercial to keep it private, that is for sure. I mean, they did not want the public walking out on their pier. Not at all. It's like, we're here now, we're gonna put the barricades up. And you're still getting that around the harbor. You have it in the Navy Yard with the people not allowing the development of that last pier. I don't remember the number, 5 or 6 or.
Pier 5.
Pier 5.
Five.
I mean, that's sad. And it's because of the opposition of the people who live in the pier. 7, is it, that looks like it belongs in California? It just, I find that makes me crazy. Made me leave.
But you came back.
Yes, I did.
Other questions?
Got some hands up.
Hands over here.
So I just want to respond to the conservation agent. I served on the Conservation Commission for 17 years. And I think one of the key things is that the mayor gets to appoint a number of members of the commission. And I think, based on the question you asked, it's important that every administration try to appoint people who understand the things that Lorraine's talking about. That doesn't always happen, but it's important that you do that. I think the other thing is that on the commission, at the time that I served, we were redundant. So developers would say, oh, we have to do that under Chapter 91. Why are you requiring it as part of the order of conditions by the city? And we said, that's exactly the point. Because as Lorraine has indicated, the politics change. Governors come and go, mayors come and go and such. And you want that redundancy in the event that you have to do enforcement. And as I'm looking around the room of all of Lorraine's fan club, and she's mentioned, Mary Ann and Valerie and Charlie and such, but I see a number of people who've worked with her, Rich McGinnis, Ken Fields, Chris Bush, there's, Sean Hennessy at the Park Service and such. Who else have I missed? Well, of course, Jack, we mentioned already, but we have Brian Glasscoff, Mary Ann. All of these individuals, and if there are others that I miss, I apologize. We all work together in our different roles, right? So whether it's the Park Service or working with the city or even at the state level, I think back to Dennis Jusick, who was a pain to a lot of people, but really pushed to Chapter 91 issues. He would be the most extreme, and Lorraine would be the one that would broker the compromise, but you always had to have the extreme, right? So you say, oh my God, Dennis is up there again, and Lorraine would then say, let's do this, this, and this. And so I think, politics and certainly at the federal level, we're about to go through quite a different administration. But even at the state and at the city level, things change. And so it's important to have sort of the allies at all the different levels, to have the redundancy so that there are people who are supportive and such. And I'll tell one story. When they were talking about Lorraine mentioned the fan pier development, and the developer wanted to do a much taller building than what was allowed. And I got a call from Tom Kitten, who was at the time the head of aviation for Massport. And he said, don't worry about it. I said, but no, they're talking about a building this high. He said, don't worry about it. I said, you know something about the FAA that I don't know? And he didn't say anything. I said, okay, I guess that's the answer. So there are people, at all different levels who can be supportive in your partners, whether it's the Park Service, the state agencies and such. And so look to them. I should also mention, of course, Ben Lynch, who was the head of Chapter 91 for many years, who was, I think, sometimes would be a thought for the developers, but really, I think when he retired at his retirement party, a lot of people also gave credit to him for what he was able to do at the state level as well. So I would encourage you to think about this.
Thanks, Vivian.
Lorraine.
Jack, my buddy.
Worked for you for 8 years. I've known you for 40. You never cease to amaze in terms of wisdom that you impart and your recollection of events. I take a look around in this room and I see there are many folks who also worked, for you and made pretty good careers of themselves. So thank you for your tutelage and your mentorship and all of the learning that we did at your feet in room 805 in City Hall. But I did have a question. I wonder whether or not you care to reminisce. Back in the mid to late 80s, as the fan pier was just coming online, there was a Harborpark Advisory Committee, and then Mayor Flynn created and developed the Fan Pier Advisory Committee. And there was a dynamic between those two committees, between you and as chair, and Larry Dwyer as chair.
Yeah.
And not always, going in different directions, but there was a lot of scheming that was happening behind the scenes. I wonder if you might care to share.
Well, first of all, we all liked each other. And there was more work that would get done after the meetings in a local bar, even with Father Murphy, who was on our committee at the time. And he would come in with a black leather jacket on to the bar, and we would hash over whatever had happened at the meeting and what was going on, and would come up with solutions. And even though the development never happened, it was a fun committee. And we had different points of view, and we would discuss them and compromise. And it was always for what was better for the public, not necessarily what was better for the developer. I don't know if that answers your questions, Jack.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think that having two citizen advisory committees working on the same issue actually created a louder voice
Absolutely.
for the things that we wanted to get done.
Yep.
And you and Larry were able to bring both of the committees, pull them in the same direction, even though there were South Boston interests, there were downtown interests, there were private development interests, there were political interests.
Yep.
As I recall, and as you mentioned, the courthouse, I believe your adversary on that one was Justice Stephen Breyer that you were fighting.
Not like that man.
For the Harborwalk, but yeah, no, you.
I'd take Judge Woodward any day over Judge Breyer. You knew Judge Woodward told you what he really thought, really clear. Judge Breyer would tell you what you wanted to know, and you never knew where he was. Very different. I'd rather deal with somebody straight up all the time.
Just to give you a sense of how different people have different views, I had exactly the opposite experience when we were working with Judge Breyer and Judge Woodlock, because it was Judge Breyer who eventually said, we really should move the arcade back away from the water. Judge Woodlock was supporting the architect who said that Boston was Venice, which was something I could never quite buy. And I found Briar to be the more reasonable of the two. Vivian probably remembers those conversations as well. So it's also interesting that we have different perspectives depending on what kinds of negotiations and what sort of.
Absolutely,
sort of
yep.
objectives we have.
By the way, I also want to, if you have not noticed, when we started putting up the Harborwalk signs, which were, I forget the gentleman's name who designed them. Was it?
David Halverson.
Miller?
No. But it was somebody who worked for him. It wasn't him.
the other guy that you and I talked to about it.
Was it? Or maybe it was. I just have him, I have this visual of a person and it isn't him. But
Did he look like Clint Eastwood?
no, not at all. But if you will notice, there's no mayor's name on any of the signs. That was a very conscious thing to try and get through, because if there were mayor's names on them, they would have to get changed all the time. If you don't put any elected officials' names on them, it's just Boston Harborwalk. And it was a much, there's a lot of little things that you have to think about, and then you say, okay, can I get this through? And somehow it worked, so.
Other comments, questions, stories? Yes.
Shout out to our friends with Boston Harborwalk for continuing those signs. They're really great. But we have a question from online, and this is for you too, Kathy. Could you both articulate or re-articulate your vision for the harbor and Harborwalk today and in the future?
But the thing that's jumping in my head now is a couple of charrettes that were done for the Harbor Islands and for Spectacle Island. I think there were two different times that these things were done. And some of the ideas were so fanciful and very unique. And I would actually love to see something like that, something funky, something different that would draw people. I mean,
Tivoli Gardens was one.
oh,
Blueberry Hill was another.
There's a floating casino, an underwater hotel, there's like a
There-
lot of things.
you forget the casino, forget the underwater hotel. I mean, you know, those weren't the ones I was thinking of. But there were some very fantasy-filled ideas that were way out there. And I guess you can tell that I kind of like the way out there stuff. I've never wanted to be called normal, and I'm hoping I never will be. So I like edgy stuff. So I would like to see some new and creative ways to bring other people down to the harbor that don't come here now, that don't have kids and go to the aquarium, or don't go to the ICA, or what else can we do? What can we do? How can we make recreational opportunities more available to everybody? How can we make them reasonably priced? You know, yeah, they probably need to be subsidized because we don't have a weather pattern that we might in the future, but right now we don't have a weather pattern that allows us to do more than maybe 5 or 6 months, even though I have gone sailing in that harbor in December at 72 degrees. So, and it's beautiful because no one else is out there. I mean, we need to use it more and figure out ways for more people to use it.
Yeah, so picking up on some of that, I think the whole business about how do we connect into the city and into the communities surrounding the harbor is really critical. It's those perpendicular connections to the Harborwalk and the ways of connecting, which I think are really important and that many of you in this room are thinking about and working on, and we need to do more of that. I think Boston Harbor now is really focused on, we're looking at this horrific situation with climate change and sea level rise and storm surge as an opportunity to really think about how do we reinvent our waterfront? What else could it be, other than a 5-foot or 10-foot or 12-foot Harborwalk? And in doing that, how to create it so that it is a destination, it's enhancing communities, and it's creating places that people want to come to from far away. And then the harbor, keeping it clean is number one, right? We've spent all this money, we've done all this hard work. We don't think about it or talk about it very much anymore, but that's critical. It underpins everything. And then those harbor islands we were talking about earlier today at a Boston Harbor Islands Partnership meeting, the visitation out there has been going down, not up. It's being used less today than it was in the decades over the years that I've been involved with it. So where Boston Harbor now is really committed to working with NPS and DCR and the rest of the partnership to really create destinations, starting with Spectacle and George's, because let's take the low-hanging fruit. They're the most accessible, they're the most heavily visited. What more could we be doing there to do exactly that, Lorraine? I always talked about a big water slide on Spectacle, or a ski jump in the wintertime. I mean, let's do some cool stuff.
Absolutely.
And eventually PEDX, we want to bring PEDX online. The city's got to decide what it wants to do with Long Island. There's so much work that needs to be done out there, and Long and PEDX are the two largest islands in the harbor, and yet they're the least used and the least developed for public use, for lots of good reasons. But so there's tons of potential, still tons of work to be done. But so it's really about keeping the harbor clean, reinventing, using this threat of climate change to reinvent our waterfront, to make it even more than it's been, and then doing much more with the islands than we've been able to do so far. And I think, the crazier the better.
That's what I think.
It's 7:20, so we probably have time for 1 to 2 more questions.
I have an issue that is increasingly concerning me. And Kathy mentioned NIOP, and it's really too bad that there aren't more private owners here tonight, because what I'm seeing, and not in the publicly owned sections of the Harborwalk, but in the privately owned sections, what I'm seeing is an increasing proliferation of private security and visible private security. And as we are trying to create more welcoming and inviting harbor walks, it is really concerning to me the variety, and whether it's 15 Necco on the channel, or whether it's Fan Pier, or whether it's Commonwealth Pier, Pier 4, there is an increasing number of private security. They're not necessarily threatening, but they're there, they're uniformed. And it's a variety of different securities. And that really has a slightly chilling effect on people using this system. This in places it's public, but more and more in the private sections. And I don't know how to discourage it, control it, organize it, but it's really happening. And it's happening in different parts. And so I kind of put that up as a challenge, because it's sort of contrary to what Harborwalk is and what the system is. But the reality is there are these private owners, and lots of them, that have opinions on how their property should be managed and patrolled. And I just don't know what to do about it or how to talk about it. And we just kind of let it happen. But I am concerned that it will eventually become a very kind of depressing aspect of what should be a really public walkway, because they're kind of not sidewalks, because we don't have private security guards usually along sidewalks and streets, but we are having more and more of them along Harborwalk.
Valerie, I just wanted to ask a question. Have you ever noticed them stopping people?
No, they do not
Okay,
stop
okay,
people. I mean, actually, Vivian reminds me, my husband was stopped.
George?
Yes,
You
you know
would
how
stop
threatening
George?
he is, of course. Taking a picture on a public, on Harborwalk, being stopped by a Fidelity security guard, and that he was supposedly too close to a building. And it was, I mean, George is very law abiding, and he knew he was in the right. But it is, I mean, this is really happening and happening more. And I don't know how we begin to really talk about it.
Thank you for bringing it up. And
Absolutely. We gotta pay attention to
We
this.
do, we need to start looking at it.
I just wanted to say something because I had a different experience with developers because both the people that developed the Bain building and the people that developed the Tomato building, the Congress Street building, came up to me years later at an event, and they both said the same thing to me. They said, Lorraine, thank you for making us do that. If we had to go back now and build the connection of Harborwalk, it would cost us millions and millions of dollars. But by making us do it at the very beginning, when the construction was going on, you saved us millions, you know, and I thought that was perfect. You know, the developer saying, yay.
I would just add that I think we need to be reminded what a civic accomplishment Harborwalk is, and how it really has to be protected and valued as a really civic treasure. And I think it's started to be taken really just for granted. And which is why we're seeing these different security forces out in different parts and different neighborhoods. I think it's time, I mean, 40 years, maybe it's time to really ring those bells. And we really have something that's unique, and we need to treasure it and not take it for granted.
Thanks.
Thanks, Phil. Jill.
Yeah, I have a comment about, I have a story that relates to Valerie's comment, and then hopefully something that will help people feel inspired. But here, this is my good pal Christian Murfeld, comms director for Boston Harbor now. My name's Jill Valdez Horvath. I work at the Bar Foundation, directing the Waterfront Initiative. But Christian and I, when we first got started doing this work, walked the beat. Or like we would say, like, we really got to walk this space, because if we're going to tell people about it, we have to know and be intimately familiar with all the nooks and crannies. We even did a section for, I don't know what channel, called Nooks and Crannies on the Waterfront, that we filmed on top of Battery Wharf.
It was a
Independence
chronicle
Wharf.
episode.
Yes,
They were fabulous.
yes. I learned everything I know about the Harborwalk from Vivian Lee back there. And I also learned from Vivian Lee that if you walk in somewhere and you act like you own it, people don't ask you questions. So I cannot tell you how many times I walked into a building and just walked straight to the bathroom that I knew was publicly accessible. Nobody would stop me. I just walked right in, used the bathroom, walked out. But the average person doesn't know that, and the average person doesn't have that confidence. So one of the things that happened to Christian and I is we were walking Rose Wharf at the, no, not Rose Wharf, Marriott. And I knew that the bathrooms in the lobby on the second floor are public. So we went upstairs and we were going to use the bathroom, and someone stopped us. And I had the guts to be like, yeah, you really need to talk to whoever you need to talk to about your Chapter 91 license, because I know. And so my point is that I think a public education campaign about your civic rights, it's a public waterfront. Chapter 91, we talk about that all the time, and Chapter 91 gets wonky, and us lawyers love that stuff, but the average everyday human doesn't really care. But I think something that's like really encouraging people to use that right and reminds people it's, hey, 40 years later, look at this wonderful thing that we've built because of people like you, Lorraine, and Vivian and others. So if there's something that we can, it's like social media era, and Boston Harbor now is sort of like very well positioned to be that sort of like, hey, people should feel proud, like wear t-shirts, I don't know, do whatever it is. But I think that confidence and that connection of own your waterfront, CLF doing their gorilla sit-in at the grass in Intercontinental, like more of that civic disobedience. What was it that Peter used to say? Peter Shelley. Yeah, Peter's another one that used to do stuff that pissed people off all the time. Great, let's do more of that. Yeah. So just that as like a hopeful note. And then can I ask you for some advice? Okay. You mentioned the designated port areas early on, which you're speaking my love language. Thank you for that. As we are entering a new era of climate change, and as we're sort of taking a look at our waterfront and like, what can we be doing better? I think one of the things that's going to be a topic of conversation is, if we want to create a connected waterfront, why do we keep skipping over these areas that are designated port areas? Let's have a conversation about how we don't do that. So do you have any advice on how you approach someone or how you approach a community who has been disconnected from something for so long? And there's this pervasive narrative of like, you don't belong here because there's heavy duty things or things that you shouldn't see or things that are dangerous and really shouldn't be part of your narrative. And yet, I go to places all around the world and cities love their port and the activity because they have the ability to walk amongst it. So if, as we're entering this new challenge and this new era of rebuilding that narrative, do you have any advice on how we might do that?
I think that EDIC has done a reasonably good job of making the Marine Industrial Park or Ray Flynn Industrial Park an interesting place to walk around and go to. Whether it's the, I like going down in the dry dock, but the interesting walkway at the end of the dry dock, so you can see the fact that you can go down to the end of the pier and you can walk most of the length of it and see the new cruise ships that are coming in like over and over again. I mean, those things, people love watching that stuff. You can watch the container, you could be at the end of it and you can watch the containers being unloaded on the other side. So the designated port areas were a problem really from the beginning. They weren't, what happened when CCM came in was they did all the easier places, the North Shore and the South Shore and all that. And then they're getting it to the end of the program and they need to get Boston done. And they kind of smacked anything that looked like it had a prior marine use or a continual marine use, even if it was a horrible use, they wound up being designated port areas and became very difficult to change them. I mean, that's why I think part of East Boston took so long to get turned around, is because they've got these designated port areas over there that don't make any sense. And we're not going to have major shipbuilding coming back to the Inner Harbor. I don't believe. I mean, maybe we will, but we'll have some smaller boats built, which I think is another cool thing that happened, but we won't be building big ships. We need one dry dock. If something needs to get repaired, we've got it. I mean, so I just think the whole concept of the designated port areas in Boston Harbor should be looked at again with CZM's involvement and see if you can make some sense of where you do want to protect those areas and where you don't, because The more we have these dribbles and drabbles hanging out there, the less valuable that designation is gonna be where we really need it, I think. And we know enough about the harbor now that, you know, and CZM is incredibly comfortable with being involved in Boston Harbor now. It makes sense. Makes sense to look at the whole picture again.
Thank you.
I did not pay for this.
No, thank you for that great last question, Jill, and that wonderful answer, Lorraine. I want to thank Lorraine again. Can we have Thank you for your foresight, your dedication, your perseverance, your fashion sense. When it came to building the Harborwalk and for sharing your stories with us. Thank you also to everyone who joined us today here and online for the Harbor Use Public Forum. If you enjoyed this and you want to share it with a friend or see more talks like this, a recording of this forum and some of our other forums can be found on our YouTube page. You can also learn more about Boston Harbor Now's upcoming events at bostonharbornow.org by signing up for our monthly email updates done by Allison in the back row back there. Phenomenal talent. And then I really want to thank everybody once again for joining us. Hope you all have a wonderful evening and keep coming to these Harbor Use forums. Thank you, Lorraine, and thank you all again.